Hi, this is CA Firoz. Today we are going to discuss regarding UAE corporate tax filing. Here we will discuss not for the mainland person. Here we are going to discuss regarding free zone entity. If you are free zone entity, you want to learn how to file your corporate tax return. Here this is video. In this video we will learn each and every step with the help of FTA guide. So first of all, we need to log in Imara Tax Portal. After login, you need to click corporate tax, then you need to click corporate tax filing. After clicking corporate tax filing, you can see this screen. Here you can see in the action field, there is a file button. You can click here on the file. Then your screen is ready for UAE corporate tax filing. So before understanding corporate tax filing return, we need to understand if you are free zone entity, means you will consider as per corporate tax law as a legal person. If you are legal person, there is no any threshold. In the initial phase, you have to register in corporate tax. If you are failed to register in corporate tax within 3 months, that time one penalty will be applicable on you. What type of one penalty? This penalty is 10,000 AED you have to pay. If this is your first tax return, you have to file your tax return within 7 months. How much? Within 7 months from the end of corporate tax period. That time you can get the benefit of waiver of 10,000 AED. We remember this is very important. That's why we discuss here. All practical aspect we will discuss here. I hope it is clear. We will going on for UAE corporate tax return. Here you need to acknowledge and proceed. After acknowledging and proceed, you need to see here. You need to see what the manual, what the guideline. You see, you need to read out here. Here is required document. What is the required document? List of required document is financial statement. First and very important for you, you need to prepare your FS. As always, I suggest you need to make your FS. That FS is supporting document for your corporate tax return. In near future, if FTA asks any query, you can represent that FS and inform FTA accordingly. If you don't have any FS, that time definitely you will stuck somewhere. You will be penalized from the FTA if you are not clarified properly. So be remember, FS is very important for you, because in some cases there is not mandatory to attach while the corporate tax filing, but be remember it is very important for preparing FS. So I understand we need to learn this manual and then we need to confirm here and go further. Start. I hope you understand you are free zone entity and you are carrying on a small business. So what will be beneficial? Small business relief or normal corporate tax return you have to file. Firstly, we need to understand if you are free zone entity. So you need to understand whether your free zone entity is qualified free zone entity or normal free zone entity. Then you need to consider whether your activity is fall under qualifying activity. Why this is important? This is very important to know that if you are falling qualifying activity list, that time there will be no any tax, whether your income is beyond 1 crore, any income you can earn, there is no any tax. There is 0% tax rate if you are doing qualifying activity in qualifying free zone. I hope it is clear. It is very important for your understanding. That's why we discuss it. If you are a small business, that time for you it will be very easy to file a small business leave. But remember, if you are if you are accepting the small business relief, that time you are unable to claim the benefit of zero rated. What the zero rated? As I already told you, if you are doing the qualifying activity, there is a no any tax, that is 0%. But if you are selected small business relief, that time you have to surrender your status of qualifying free zone. If you surrender your status qualifying free zone, means you are following normal standard corporate tax return as like mainland. Means you know that in mainland, if you are earning some income, your taxable profit is beyond 375,000. That time you have to pay tax at the rate of 9%. And if you are mainland entity, you can get the benefits of small business relief. So if you are surrendered, if you are already surrendered the free zone status, that time you can normally opt the small business relief via standard tax regime. So we will understand how to select that standard tax regime. First of all, you can see there is a 8 step. First is taxpayer details, second is election, third is accounting schedule, fourth is accounting adjustment and exempt income, fifth relief, sixth other adjustment, and seven tax liability and tax credit. Finally, 8 step is review and declaration. This 8 step you have to follow. Don't panic, because if you are a small business and you already adopted a small business relief, you already planned for opting a small business relief, you have to follow on 3 step. What 3 step? First is taxpayer detail, second is election, and third is final review and declaration. Only 3 steps you have to follow. But remember, if you are opting small business relief, you cannot get benefit of qualifying free zone status, as like 0% tax on qualifying activity. Be remember this is very important for you. So we are going further, because in my scenario, that free zone entity is going to opt small business relief, because last time they already opt for small business relief. So this time we cannot go for qualifying free zone status, because you need to remember, if you are losing your qualifying free zone status, so you cannot take back within next 4 years. Means current year you already losing. In my case, my client already left the qualifying free zone status in 2024, so they cannot opt this time as a qualifying free zone status. Then they, if they are doing the qualifying activity, that is irrelevant for my client, because they already adopt in last tax period in 2024 as a small business relief. Means they already surrendered their qualifying zone free zone status. Means here we will filing my client as a normal mainland company as deemed, but actual that is a free zone entity but deemed as a mainland entity, because they already opted as standard tax regime. I hope this is clear. We are going further through the next information. We need to fill here taxpayer detail. Firstly, we need to check out all information is correct. If all information is correct, then you need to select here yes. After clicking here yes, you need to see there is a tax pay. You can understand there is the information required by FTA taxable person information. Means a free zone entity, whether is the taxable person a partner in one or more unincorporated partnership. What the means of unincorporated partnership? If your entity is ABC LLC and you joint venture with XYZ company and you started some work in joint venture, but you didn't registered in the FTA as a LLC. This is called as unincorporated partnership. If this type of partnership, you can elect here yes. Otherwise, you need to elect no. I hope it is clear. Further, other question is coming to you. Is the tax return being completed by government entity? If you are government entity, that time you need to select yes. Otherwise, you need to select no. Further, this is very important question for you. What is the taxable person revenue derived during the tax period? What is the tax period? Firstly, you need to understand. Tax period means whatever income you earn in the calendar year 1st Jan 2025 to 31st December 2025. This is normal tax period in UAE, but in your case it may be different, because in UAE government they are very relaxed regarding the tax period. You can select according to your comfortable, because why you need to different tax period, because for your understanding, if you are Indian company, you have one branch in Dubai. In India, there is a financial is started from 1st April to 31st March. So for if you need consolidated FS, so you need to same FS in Dubai also. That time you can select your tax period from April to 31st March. This is, I hope it is clear. We already taken one example for change tax period from calendar year. But normal case in Dubai, all person have to follow calendar year 1st Jan to 31st December. If 1st Jan 2025 to 31st December 2025 you have earned some income, you need to disclose it. How to drive this income? You need to follow your FS. In my client, we already made a FS for a small businessman. Uh, they are following the small business. You can say that SMEs IFRS we followed. There is a tax computations, corporate tax balance sheet, PL, note to account, and grouping. We have to make that. But here is important. We need to take the revenue. Revenue is to 27,396. We need to put here 27,900. What other 900? No, 396. 396. After putting this revenue information, be remember here we need to consider if you are a small businessman, you have to represent the revenue whether that is exempted or not. If you are getting some dividend from local company, that is exempted, but for the purpose of a small business relief you need to add in the revenue. But remember that if your revenue is crossing 3 million AD, that time you cannot get the benefit of a small business relief. I hope it is clear. Further, here we will discuss next scenario. Has the taxable person financial statement has been prepared under the cash or accrual? Here we need to inform whether your FS, whatever we made here, that is following the cash method or accrual method. Normally, we followed the accrual method. Why? Because in VAT filing also we adopt the accrual basis. That's why here also we need to opt accrual basis. But be remember, as per city law, if your turnover is below 3 million AD, that time you can opt cash basis also. But my suggestion is that you have to follow accrual basis for aligning in the VAT filing. I hope it is clear. Further, very important for understanding, here you can see that how many business activity does the tax person conduct. My client is conducting two activity, but by default here is coming 0 0. Be remember, you need to inform as the estimated basis percentage. If you are doing two activity, one activity may be 95% and second activity may be 5%. One activity may be 80% and second activity may be 20%. Whatever the actual estimation, we need to inform it. Firstly, in my case, in first activity, we are providing 90%. What is the 90%? 90% of revenue is belonging to this activity. That's why I presented here 90%. Then we need to click here save, and further we need to click here edit, and also other activity we perform 10%. Means the actual the part of revenue is 10%. I hope it is clear. We need to inform where the revenue is derived as the intimation via percentage. So first activity we put 90% and second activity we put the 10%. So after informing activity percentage, we need to inform is the taxable person a member of multinational enterprises group. For understanding this, we need to understand what is the multinational enterprises group. If you are doing business more than one country, this is first condition. And second condition, if your turnover in group level is crossing 3.15 billion AD, that time you will called as a multinational enterprises group. Then you need to select yes, otherwise you can select no. Further, here we need to inform is the taxable person tax resident in foreign jurisdiction under a applicable double tax agreement. As you know that double tax agreement as like double tax treaty. What is the means of double tax treaty? If you are resident more than one country, so government may relax via the double tax treaty agreement. You can tax only one country. In other country, you can get the benefit of that. This is very important for understanding. For your understanding, we can take the example of UK. In UK, also you are resident. In Dubai, also you are resident. In both countries, if you are resident, if Dubai income you already taxed in Dubai, and at the time of consolidation, if you are adding that income in UK, FS, that time you can get the benefit of whatever you already paid tax in UAE. I hope it is clear. This is very simple. So in my case, no. In your case, if you have resident more than one country, you need to inform here yes, so that you can get the benefit of double tax rating. Further, you can see there is a no any election option in the free zone, because as already told you, last year my client already selected what they selected. They selected standard tax regime. Be remember, this is very important to understand. There is a standard tax regime, there is a free zone tax regime. Standard tax regime, there is a two branches. One branch is a small business relief, second branch is normal tax. And in free zone, there is a important to understand. In free zone, there is a qualifying activity or non-qualifying activity. In qualifying activity, you have to pay tax. How much? 0%. In non-qualifying activity, you have to pay tax straightforward 9% without basic exemption. What is the basic exemption? Basic exemption is profit 375,080. You cannot claim. Be remember, you cannot claim in non-qualifying activity basic exemption, that is 375,080. But in the standard tax regime, if you are opting standard tax regime, you have to lose this status, qualifying free zone status. You have to follow whether a normal tax or small business relief. Standard tax regime, there is a two option. You can choose the small business relief or standard tax. Small business relief, if your turnover is limited up to 3 million AD, that time there is no tax. If you are not opting small business relief, that time you have to pay tax on your profit over and above 375,080. I hope it is clear. So in my case, we opted here, we are free zone entity and we opted standard tax regime. Is the tax person making an election subject to corporate tax under the standard tax regime? This is, there is no any choice in this time, so you cannot select. So further, we need to move on here next. Here one is missing. You can see here, if you are making any skip, there is a information you can get from the Imara tax code. Please specify whether the tax person financial statement been prepared under the accrual method. So here we need to select as a accrual method. Okay, got it. Further, you need to click next. Now you can see the error is resolved. That further we need to mention here, whether would the taxable person like to make an election for small business relief? Yes, we need to follow small business relief. And after clicking, you can see here financial statement optional. So many client is asking whether they require to make FS or not. My suggestion, you have to maintain your FS for future purpose, because if you don't have any FS, so you cannot give any proper clarification to FTA if they are asking why you are calculating this revenue. So be remember, you have to prepare your FS according to small business. You know that for a small business there is a IFRS, SMEs IFRS you have to follow, and you make the FS according to the act. Further, after clicking yes, you can see that there is only three options. One option already we fill that tax payer detail, and second election we already elected small business relief. We need to click here in third revenue and declare. So we need to click next. I hope this is video is very important for you. We already discussed all an important aspect regarding the free zone entity corporate tax filing. So you can watch out here what information you already fill in the your city return, and after watching this you need to here confirm and submit. So you can save as draft also. So I save a draft. If you are already check all is correct, then you can file accordingly. This is very important video for you. I hope all is covered here. If you need any clarification, you can ask me. We will inform you in timely manner. Thank you very much.